Hey everyone, welcome back to the Panic Room. I'm Cat Panic, and today I decided that I was going to show you guys some of my favorite vintage things that are in the Panic Room. I love antiquing and going thrifting. Thrifting is one of my favorite things. So when I'm not doing makeup, that's usually where you'll find me, is your local antique store or secondhand store, looking for things to put in the Panic Room or even just in the house. I usually go for things that are in my color scheme, so pinks, teals, maybe some like dark pinks. Once in a while I'll go for the classic oranges and blues, but usually it's pink that I usually go for. Dusty pink was a very popular color in the kitschy wear that you usually will find for like bathrooms and bedrooms. So it's pretty hard to decorate the whole house and the Panic Room in the authentic pink mid-century modern antiques. So the search is always on, and I have a lot of good friends who like to antique as well, and they usually are always keeping an eye out for me for things that they think that'll suit the aesthetic that I'm going for. I'm going to show you guys a few of my favorite things, and then I'll kind of show you, then we'll talk about them, maybe like the backstory, and yeah, should be good, so stay tuned. So first up, one of my favorite things that I've ever found in an antique store is this vintage pink mid-century modern radio. The radio itself doesn't work, but I'm sure that if I actually took the time to repair it, it would. It's in almost mint condition, and it just needs to be cleaned up a little bit, but it's been so well loved over through the years, just like being a staple piece in photo shoots and taking its rounds throughout like the house and the Panic Room. It's just become a great conversational piece. It's got a working dial right here to adjust the radio stations, and it's got your plug-in back here, which I've just like kind of taped up together because I don't like the wires around, because sometimes if they get stepped on or pulled wrong, if someone trips over it. And also it doesn't need to be plugged in because it doesn't work. I've actually debated on actually gutting the thing and putting a Bluetooth in there so I could have a Bluetooth speaker, but what had a client gift me a little modern Bluetooth radio that's also the same color, and it's just a little like vintage pink radio. I kind of decided that it was just good, or she was just perfect the way she was. It also has the on and off switch right here, and then it has the emblem, which stands for Philco. And so this one here I purchased for $10 at a local antique store. They have like the front or the top floor with tons of different antiques, and they're all easily displayed and seen. They have a downstairs as well that's super dark and dingy, and it tends to have a lot of stuff just like thrown down there that you can like kind of sift through. And that's where I found this one. I was just kind of looking, and I'm like, oh, I think I see something pink, and usually that's the first thing I look for is the color, and then I assess from there. So I found her just sitting on a shelf, and I just picked it up, and there was no doubt in my mind. I didn't know how much it was. She didn't have a tag or anything on her. So when I brought her up to the front, I talked to the store clerk, and he said that it didn't work, but it was on sale for $10. And so I just said, yeah, I'm taking her home, I'll clean her up, and she will be a part of the Panic Room. So I've had her for about 5 years now, and she brings me just as much joy as the day I brought her home. So she is right now residing in the bathroom on a display mantle with a bunch of other vintage things from the era. But she often makes her appearance down below my pink Christmas tree, and then during the January seasons I'll put her out with her other vintage friends for a display. So I have a friend around town, and she tends to almost curate for me since I'm always working. I don't have time to really go and check everything out all the time, so she tends to make rounds more often than I do. So she's always looking for me and seeing if I will she looks for the colors and the motifs that I like, and she knows the era just as well as I do. So when she sees something, she usually picks it up, and then I just pay her for it later. So these ones here, I don't know if they're actually not true vintage. I don't even know what decade they're from, but they are these twin cat figurines. So I haven't been able to find anything like them on the internet, so I can't date them, but just on their own, they match the aesthetic perfectly. They're pink with pink glitter. They have little eyes drawn on them, and they don't have a stamp or anything, so I really don't know much about them other than I absolutely adore them. So they usually sit on a shelf together, and I will pair them with like seasonal decor, whether it's like a flower arrangement that I made, or if they want to sit with the radio, I'll put them beside the radio, because they just like almost the atomic sort of like curvature of them really suit the motifs that I go for. So yeah, she found these for me. I think they were about $5 for the pair, and she found them at a secondhand store, I do believe. I have to double check, and they are glass, so they're usually kept up a little higher because I tend to break everything I touch if it's glass. So, and I've already talked to you guys about my favorite mug. This is a Pyrex teal mug that I found at a garage sale that was thrown in when I bought a big lot of stuff. And I try to collect them. They're really hard to find in the colors because, like I said, I really just try to stick to a certain color palette, because that way everything matches and everything always looks put together. It's really hard to find a piece that doesn't have the right colors, because you're sitting there debating, well, do I redo it? Do I paint it? Or is that like taboo? Like, I don't know. Like, a lot of people will get really mad if you repaint an antique, and they say you devalue it when you do that, or you take away its integrity. So I try to, unless something is really like it needs to be redone, I try to keep it in its original state as much as I can, unless I'm absolutely in love, but it needs to have the color changed, because it just won't go. And if I am too torn, I usually will just leave it. I'm like, no, it's meant for somebody else. It's meant for somebody else. It's not meant for me. But yeah, so Pyrex mugs are my favorite. So next up, I got this given to me as a gift because a friend of mine / colleague also is an avid mid-century modern collector, and we both work in the film industry. So he said he found this one, some prop house, I believe it was for a movie at one point, but it is a pink rotary telephone. So this was given to me. It's in very good condition. I like it because it has the working dial, and also it has the area code 403, which is the area code for where we live, which I thought was super fun. And it does have a bell, so if I was to plug it in, it would ring probably. And it just looks so adorable. So it needed to be cleaned up a little bit. It was sitting in storage for quite a while. But yeah, the color is great. The only thing is you can really tell when something has lost a little bit of its color over time, which is a given, especially if it's plastic. So this one here used to be a bit more of a bright dusty pink, because I can see there's a bit of color discrepancy between the top and the bottom. It's kind of yellowed a little bit here, but then also, like, you can even see in the bottom of the telephone, it's actually quite brighter than the handle. I don't know if that reads at all on the camera, but also even in the cord, the outside of the cord has yellowed a little bit versus the inside of the cord is actually quite like a lovely pink color, the color I typically try to find. So, but yeah, it does work. It's in working condition. However, in the day and age we are in now, I don't even have a landline. I just have my cell phone. So she has become a lovely visual piece in the bathroom with the radio right now. But like I said, when Christmas hits, and I call it the kitschy Christmas or the pinkness that happens in my house, a lot of my vintage finds make their way below the tree, just to kind of add a little more nostalgia to the vintage vibe that I've got going on. So she will probably make her way below the tree around Christmas time, but for right now, she stays just where, she stays where the seasonal decor is, and then she'll probably make her way around the house throughout the year. Hello. Different like centerpieces and things, and then she'll make her way below the Christmas tree, and then carrying on. So she is quite lovely. So this piece here is one of my favorites, and it's always out for people to see. because also it's quite awkward, it's hard to store. But this here is my vintage cat glass caddy. I found this at a garage sale. She was a little on the pricey side. I want to say she was about 40, but I needed her because she was a cat. She's got these lovely whiskers, and she's got these eyes and a nose, and she carries glassware. So these are really popular in the 50s and 60s when people were having tons of cocktail parties. You'll often see pictures of like the women carrying like their glass caddy full of glasses before they start making the cocktails for all their drinks, if you think about Mad Men and all of that. So this one here was just too cute to pass up, and I've always wanted a vintage glass caddy, but none of them ever really spoke to me. But as soon as I saw this one, it was actually posted online for this vintage garage sale, and I told her right away I was going to email money transfer her and she could just keep it on hold. So she took that, and then I went to go pick her up. They didn't come with these glasses originally, it came with a different set. The set that it came with I wasn't super crazy about, but they were still cute. So they are my usable glasses that are in my cupboard. And then the glasses that actually are in here are like my vintage prized possession glasses that no one's really left for special occasions, or if I really trust them, or for photo shoots, because they are super cute for photo shoots. These ones here, I found that these glass caddies can go for quite expensive depending on like where you're shopping. I found them on Etsy, so anywhere from like $25 to like $150 depending on how rare they are and like the different motifs, but I've never found a cat one. So I'm still kind of on the look, so I don't really know how to value it, or if it's just kind of like a kitschy thing, like a reproduction. I haven't seen enough to actually been able to make a proper assessment for that. But so she stays on top of the hoosier, which I will show you guys in a different video because I do have a vintage hoosier. But she stays on top of there along with my vintage canister set. But while we have her here, I want to talk to you guys about the glasses that I have. These vintage Argyles or diamondy glasses. And this is the pink one, and also came with 10 pink and 10 blue. So it was a full set, and I believe I paid $50 for the set on a vintage website. They don't have a stamp or anything, so they might be reproductions, I'm not sure, but I saw them right away and I decided that I needed to have them because they were my colors and I wanted a proper glass set so I could serve people and be like a good conversational piece, but also because I just want everything in the house to match. So no matter what, people will always be like, if you go to Kat's house, you're gonna get the matching plates, cutlery, and glasses, and everything just looks like it's a Cat Panic sort of thing. The pink ones here, and then the teal ones are actually in the cupboard because I found these other teal ones at the thrift store for $10 for a full set, and these ones are true vintage. They don't have a stamp on them, but I can tell they're true vintage because the gold has actually worn off quite a bit. So you can kind of see those diamond shapes, and this one here has actually some of the gold still left on it, but a lot of them don't. So I don't know if like throughout the time, like just with wash and wear, the gold's kind of worn off, or if somebody has started kind of putting them through a dishwasher, because that's when that stuff tends to really buff off as dishwashers because they're so rough on them. But it did at one point have gold like pinstriping through the diamonds as well, but now it has gone away, so which is kind of sad. But the diamonds on this one here are still a little bit intact. So with all these ones here, I tend to wash them all by hand and dry them all by hand and put them away right away, because there is a chance that, say, a cat or somebody will come by and knock them off if they're just drying on the kitchen counter. It's happened before. So, and with these ones here, because I haven't been able to find some that have been my color or have matched the motifs that I'm going for, so I tend to keep really good care of them. But yeah, so next up, I'm going to show you guys one of my other favorite things that is in the panic room, and it's showing off my Cat Panic cat eyelashes, as well as my business cards and my gift cards. Here is a vintage trifold mirror and a little stand, and I found this at a vintage shop for $60, and it was originally painted yellow. So I changed the yellow to pink so it matched the panic room, and then I hung it, and now it displays the lashes and the business cards and the gift cards. And I've seen quite a few of them like this that have like a glass shelf or something, those bathroom like vanities. I think that originally that's what it might have been, as a bathroom vanity or something that people would have hung above the sink. And they go for roughly like between like 80 to 200 depending on like the quality and stuff. I think this one's a little bit of a lower quality because it did have a bit of like work to do in the back, and things are looking a little bit like it was handmade, like by just some, you know, somebody who wasn't a professional, which is totally fine. I saw the diamondy sort of shapes there, and I decided that it just needed to come home with me. So that is now in the panic room. So while I'm standing up, I'm gonna show you guys my favorite vintage hamper. I have 4 of them. I collect vintage hampers like nuts. I don't know why, but they keep falling into my lap, and I don't have the heart to get rid of them. So this one here is a vintage hamper, and I'm absolutely in love. I got this one from my friend who also likes to purchase antiques. So it's in great condition, like the inside's great. I love the starburst on this corner. I have 3 more and none of them, well, actually no, that's a lie. I have 3 more and only one other one has the starburst. The other one, somebody had taken it off. So someone had taken it off to put on something else. So this one here, I'm actually really lucky that it still has it intact. Just needs to be a little buffed off and cleaned. But yeah, it's got this beautiful brass finish here. The feet have nice brass finishes as well. And it's got these little handles in the corner. So, and yeah, for these ones here, I paid $40 for this one. And I've seen the exact same ones, but in the true mid-century modern colors, like the orange and the teal, on Etsy, and they go for between $200 and $400. So I don't know if that's the actual appraisal price. Obviously, I'm not an antique dealer by any means, but anything like this, you guys, if you see it and it's in good condition and you're into that sort of thing, I would say pick them up, because not only are they great and handy, I've used them just for like obviously hampers. I use it for like a display piece. I use it to hold books and movies and whatever. Like, they make great little storage devices. They're so cute. And they tend to hold their value from what I've seen, because there is a market there for them. They do have collectors out there. So definitely keep your eyes out open. I do find them a lot at antique stores and thrift stores. Thrift stores obviously a lot cheaper. The first original one I have is a cream one. It is beautiful. It's more of a square base. I'll have to show it to you guys one day. And it has the original starburst. I got it for $2. And then when I went on Etsy to look, this exact same one was going for $90. So I felt like I got a pretty good deal. So definitely watch out for the vintage hampers, you guys. I think you'll find them anywhere, and they do hold their value, and they're just so cute. And to finish up this little fun haul today, I want to show you guys Big Betsy. So Big Betsy is my vintage TV that I've redone, and I use it as my makeup desk in the Panic Room makeup studio. This is Big Betsy. She is probably not a 50s TV per se, but she reads 50s, which is what was most important to me, because to find a big enough TV to do makeup on was a challenge. I told myself when I created the vintage makeup studio, I wanted to have a makeup counter that was unique and fun. So either I wanted to do makeup on a vintage jukebox that had been refurbished for storage, or a fun TV that had a wide front base that would fit all my makeup and my display. So I found this one here at a local pawn shop, and it was just your typical brown with a gold speaker base. And I saw it, and I think that if I was to date this myself, now don't judge me. I'm not, like I said, I'm not an antique dealer and I'm not a professional, but I would say this is maybe like a 70s to 80s TV. But because we have some of the similar like motifs, like this sort of like arrow here, and then the way it tapers down into another arrow on the bottom, and also the fun knobs and things. I would easily say this can pass as a 50s TV. It does work, which is super fun, but of course I don't use it for that. But when I bought it, the boys actually at the pawn shop had it running, and it does have a black and white screen, which is super cute. So if it's a black and white TV with this sort of like look to it, it could be anywhere from, I would say, the late 50s all the way up to the 70s, maybe the 80s, but I wouldn't go that far because it has the big circle round. I find that that's very like anywhere from the 50s to the 70s. But again, I'm not a professional. I won't date this. It is a General Electric. Right here it has the emblem for General Electric. And then yeah, so these knobs all work. Here's the channel changer. It's on channel 5 right now, but I can actually take this off because I took it off to paint it, and then I never fully put it back on. So originally I was actually going to add a couple of gems and take all these originals off and just put big gems, but I didn't want to make it look too kitschy. And then I took some of my Starburst decals and I just threw them on top of the TV here to go with the rest of the panic room, because the rest of the panic room has all these all over the wall. And then I took my panic room colors, which is teal and magenta, and I just painted the whole thing. It's a little dirty, I'll have to clean that, but yeah. And also, I always look for these sorts of hairpinny legs. These are the legs that are very true to every, like, the decade that I go for, also the aesthetic. The legs that kind of jut out and sit out. These legs, like, I'll even find them on their own at thrift stores, and I'll purchase them so I can apply them to like any sort of coffee table or any like thing that needs a leg. I'll use them because that way it just kind of gives them that look of the 1950s, that kind of like atomic mid-century modern look. Right there we have it, the beautiful TV. Thanks everybody for joining me for a little tour of the panic room and all the fun little antiques that I collect and all the fun sort of thrifting finds that I found over the years. And also thanks to everybody who has helped me throughout the years collect these super fun things. I have plenty more to show you, but of course I will save that for another video. And yeah, so thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this little fun video of all these fun things. Please like and subscribe, comment if you have any questions. If you have any information I should know about the things I've shown you, please comment down below. I'd be so happy to know more. And again, please keep your eyes out. If you see anything fun and you buy it and you want to show me, let me know on Instagram or on Facebook. I would love to see. And yeah, thanks for joining. Have a great day, guys. Bye.